Hey YouTube, Ed here with Jack of All Trades. So today what we're going to do on a video is I'm going to build a welding layout table. I've got a relatively small space here in my shop. As you can see, it's not very big. So I got to be kind of creative in how I do these things. And a welding layout table is going to take up a lot of room. So I've got to be creative on what I do here. So you can see right there is my workbench, and that void underneath the workbench is just storage space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a welding layout table that slides underneath there like a drawer, if you will, just like a drawer on your countertop or any other drawer. And that way it'll save some space, and when I'm done with it, I can slide it under there, and it'll be out of the way, and it won't be tripping over it or taking up any extra floor space. But before we get into that, if you like this channel and you like the content and you like what I'm doing out here, please go down below, hit that like and subscribe button, ding that notification bell so you get notified whenever I come up with a new video. And that's all I'm looking for support. I'm not asking for money. I don't have a Patreon account. I'm just looking for the subscribers. So please, you'd be doing me the favor to do that. Thank you to all of those who have subscribed lately. I very much appreciate it. And when I hit that 1,000 subscribers, we're going to have a fun giveaway, and I've already decided what it's going to be. So you guys will enjoy it. Let's get the camera turned around and let's talk a little bit about what I'm going to do here. All right, so you can see there's my workbench right there. And I've got this void under here, which is 42 inches wide. So it's just storage space is all it is right now. And so I'm going to make the layout table so it actually slides underneath there. And I've got drawer sliders, heavy duty drawer sliders, and it'll be just like the cutting board you have in your kitchen. And it'll, that way when I'm done with it, it'll slide out of the way and it won't be in the way. So let's go over to the bench and let's look at the parts that I've got to get this done. All right, so the first thing I've got here is I've got some angle iron, and the angle iron is actually what I'm going to use to support the drawer sliders and actually use it to attach it underneath the bench. I've got some 3x3 3/16 angle iron here, and I've got some 2x2 1/8 angle iron here. And so the 3/16, the 3x3, is actually what's gonna get the bolts through it and pop up through the bench to support the weight of the entire assembly. And then the 2x2 is actually what's going to be used to hold the steel layout table. Then what I've got is I've got the two drawer sliders right here, and these are ball bearing drawer sliders, and they're heavy duty. They're 500-pound capacity. I honestly, to be truthful with you, I didn't know they made such things, but apparently they do. I got these off of Amazon, and I will put the link to the Amazon link where I bought these in the description, so you can order them yourself if you want. But yes, these are ball bearing, 500-pound capacity, heavy duty drawer sliders, and they're full extension. So when I pull the drawer out, it'll pull out the full extension of the slider to 24 inches. And that's how deep my workbench is 24 inches. So quite obviously I had the layout table cut to 24 inches worth of depth. Speaking of the layout table, this is 1/2-inch mild steel. And I had a company here in my little hometown here laser cut all these 5/8 inch holes. They are 4 inches apart side to side, or east-west, and they're 4 inches apart north and south. And they're spread all the way out through the table, evenly spaced. Most of these layout table companies, all of the fixtures and the stops and the clamps and everything you buy require an 5/8 inch hole. So I had the laser cutter go ahead and cut everything out of 5/8, and I put 5/8 bolts in here, and they are a perfect fit. So that should be all good. Then I had to go get some hardware. I had to get some number 10 machine screws because that's how big the holes are in the drawer sliders. So I got some number 10 machine screws. I got some number 10 lock washers here, 10 by 24 nuts. I bought some 3/8 inch washers, some 3/8 inch stop nuts, some 3/8 inch bolts, 5 inches in length to get all the way through my workbench. And I bought a bottle of Hershey syrup because it was there, and that was a complete impulse buy, and I'm going to have ice cream when I get done with this. So there it is. That's what I've got. So the piece of steel for the layout table is 36 inches wide and it's 24 inches deep. And then when you take the two pieces of 3x3 angle iron, that's going to give me additional 36 inches, which will just exactly fit my 42-inch opening right there in between. And if it's a little tight, I can always trim a little off of one leg to make the fit a little closer, but it should be dead on. So at any rate, let's get to the first thing. The first thing I got to do is I got to mount the drawer sliders to the 3x3 angle. That's the first thing that's going to happen. So let me get my camera stand out and let me get this thing propped up, and let's start drilling some marking and drilling some holes. All right, we got both the drawer sliders installed on the angle irons. So they'll get mounted up under the bench as such, one on each side. Now I'm going to take the smaller 2x2 angle irons and we'll mount those like this. And then the main plate, the big plate, will sit right on top of this. And it should slide in and out just like it's supposed to. All right, so I've got all the angles installed. They're all screwed and fastened down and they're all good to go. So now what I'm gonna do, because it's a little after 10 o'clock at night, is time to go to bed. We're gonna call it a night for a night and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll finish we'll finish installing this. The sliders work good, they work easy, they come out full extension. So this piece of angle iron here is 24 inches, and you can see the sliders come out full extension. They work really nice, and this should work really, really well. I'm very pleased with the decision. Gage is very happy with the decision. Bruce looks like he could give less than a care about the decision. Anyway, for now, let's sign off and let's come back tomorrow and finish this up. All right, so we're back and it's the next day. So the next step in the process is to drill the holes, 3 3/8 inch holes in the angle irons so we can mount them on the bottom side of the bench. I got 3/8 inch bolts to do that job, and so we just need to drill the holes so we can get it mounted. All right, so we've got it all installed. One thing that you have to make sure of when you do these is that you got to make sure everything is square, just to ensure that the drawer slides in and out. So one of the measurements that I took was I took from inside of the angle here, which is 32 1/4 inches, and then I measured the inside of the angle out here, and that's 32 1/4 inches, just to make sure everything was straight in that direction. And then I can do a cross square here, 43 1/2. So I know everything is exactly square. So that way, when I set the table on here and the drawers slide in and out, they're sliding in and out equally and together, and everything is good. So now I gotta set the drawer or the table on top of the drawer sliders, and then it's just a matter of putting a couple of little welds in place to weld that table onto the frame, and this thing will be done. We'll be set to go. see one thing I need to do. I need to put some kind of little handle under here. So let's see what I got laying around out here that I can use to put a handle on. All right, so here's the first project. Make a couple of clamps. Now there's a reason that these 5/8 inch holes are in here, and that's so you can use 5/8 inch bolts for layout. So I'm going to make a couple of clamps that will utilize these holes so I can have clamps on my table. So the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut the heads off of these. And then I'm gonna literally cut this clamp off and this clamp as well. And I'm gonna make 2 clamps. All right, so there we go. We've got 2 clamps. They go right into these 5/8 inch holes. And you just clamp them. You can clamp anything down in here I want. And I can move these clamps into any one of these holes that I want. And it's going to hold whatever I'm welding secure. So I can make a whole bunch of different tools. I can even just use a 5/8 inch bolt as a stop to use as for the layout table. So yeah, I'm pleased. I'm tickled to death with this. This is going to be extremely useful. And the beauty of it is when I'm done with it, I take everything apart. I'm gonna have to chase those holes with a bit, I think, but just to clean them up. And when it's all said and done, I can just slide that table away and it's out of the way, and I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to worry about how I'm going to store it. Nothing. Well, I tell you what, I am really happy with how this project turned out. Yes, it would have been nice if the table would have been a little bigger, 24 deep, 36 wide, but to be honest with you, I very rarely ever need a bigger work surface than this for welding. I'm not doing that big of projects, and if I am, I'll just have to adapt. But for the quick projects or the little layout things that I need to do, this is going to be the perfect size. It rolls out of the way. I don't have to worry about storing it. I'm making the most efficient use of the room that I have, and I'm just really, really happy with it. That's the end of this project. If you like this kind of content and you like this video and you like what I'm doing here, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you get notified of future videos, and give me some comments down below. anything you would like to see me do different, how I could have done this project different, maybe some tips and tricks that you would have employed in this, and maybe something I need to change. Give me some ideas. And I'm always open to suggestions. If you got something that I can change or make or do differently to make this more functional, hit me with those comments. And I try to answer them as quickly as I can, and I do try to answer all of them. Thanks for riding along. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on the next video.